All right, now we're gonna get into the fun part. So we're gonna learn the point curve. And how do I find that? We go to light, click it, and there's our point curve right here. It looks intimidating, it's not. And it does the same thing as all of these sliders here. It just adds more control, more options for you to really edit your photo. So when I'm in Lightroom, I tend to use the point curve more than I do the sliders. I'll make some adjustments here, and then I'll go in and do just the little details in the point curve. And what I like about the point curve is because it allows for more editing options, as you'll see, you can make your photo more dramatic, more cinematic, cooler, essentially, okay? So let's go over it. As you can see, as we've gone over what a histogram is. So on the left side, we have our blacks, and actually this one will show you here. So we have our blacks and then our shadows, and then it's starting to get lighter, 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 and then we have our highlights. Okay, so white, midtones, and blacks. Okay, so again, black colors are on the left side, and as we go up on the graph, these are our midtones, and then as we go up, those are our whites. Okay, so how do we use this? Well, all you have to do and all you have to know is you can create points on this line. So let's just say I want to adjust just the darker parts of the picture. So I'm gonna select a point on the line where the darker parts are. And let's say I want to adjust the lighter parts. Well, I'm gonna make a point here, boop, right there. So we have 2 points. So now let's move these around. So if I move this part that is adjusting only the darks, if I move it up, it's taking those dark colors and making them lighter. And if I'm gonna move this down just like this, it's making those darks a little bit darker, a little bit more dramatic, all right? So I'm gonna double click that, and same with this one where we're adjusting the highlights and the whites. I can make all those highlights and whites really bright as you see the sky. And then I can make them darker. As you can see right there, I'm making them darker. So it just allows you to select which part of the image. Do you want to adjust the darks and the shadows? Do you want to adjust the colors and the tones in the middle? And do you want to adjust the colors and the tones in the whites? Now, all of these do the same thing, but what I like about this is you can put multiple points on the line. So let's just say I want my really dark colors, and then my kind of dark colors, and then it's starting to get to the midpoints. So I want you to find those parts of the image, which should be, you know, the dark parts of the grass, maybe this brown right here, over here, and watch how we can adjust them. So I can make all of them darker. I can bring all of them down just like this. Or I can have one of them up, one of them down, one of them up. So it allows us to boop, 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 have multiple different edits. So we're editing just in between these points, making kind of the midtones lighter and the darkers darker, and these are kind of the blacks right here. So it just allows us to really edit an area better than these sliders, okay? If that makes sense. How do you get rid of these points? Well, you can double click on them. So I'm double clicking and they're all gone and the image is back to normal. So all you really need to know about the point curve is click where you want to adjust. So let's just say in this image, it's a little bit too bright for me. I'm looking at it, it's a little bit too bright, a little bit too happy. So I'm gonna select a point where it's light and I'm gonna bring that down a bit. And as you can see, we can start to see the sky a little bit more, all right? And if I wanna make it really bright, then I can move it up just like that. Same with the darks. Let's just say the darks are a little bit too dark for me, then I'm gonna select a point that's in the dark area, and I'm just gonna move those up, just like that. Okay, so that is essentially the point curve. We can go over these. This is putting different colors into your photo. So this red dot right here, so if I want to make the darks a little bit red, I can drag them up just like that. And if I want to tone it down and move towards this greenish blue, then I can move it down that way. All right. Same with the whites. I can make the whites have just a little bit of reddish tint to them or a little bit of greenish bluish tint, just like that. And if we go to green, same thing. We have green and purple to choose from. Let's say my midpoints, I want them a little bit more on the purple side, then I can drag it there, or I want it a little bit more on the green side, I can drag it, and any kind of point. Let's just say I want to make my darker colors a little bit more purple. There it is. And then I can make it more green, just like that. And so on and so forth. We have blue and yellow for this. So making a point, more blue, more yellow. And if you don't want the whole image to be blue, just like that, then that's where a second point comes in, okay? So essentially the point curve gives you more options to edit different parts of your image. So you need to look at your image and say, okay, I want to work with the highlights and the whites. So then we can make lots of different points on here. And it allows me to adjust those 3 areas rather than just having one area to adjust. That is why I like the point curve. All right, and we're going to practice and play around with it. And it's okay if you are not understanding it for the first time. With time, you will get it. All right, so that is the point curve.